Hi there, I'm Emma, your guide to all things homey and heartfelt here on the Decor YouTube channel. I've spent years turning simple spaces into cozy havens and helping people see the beauty in the everyday. Whether you're drawn to charming farmhouse corners or just crave that calm, grounded feel when you walk into a room, I believe home design is one of the most personal expressions of comfort we can explore. Today, we're wandering down a garden path together, literally, because we're diving into rustic DIY small garden ideas and timeless design hacks that can refresh your home inside and out. Imagine a space that feels both fresh and nostalgic, where every detail whispers welcome home. Grab your tea, get comfy, and let's take this slow, just the way a cozy afternoon should feel. Let me tell you about a small backyard I once worked on for a lovely couple in the countryside. Their space was tiny, boxed in by old fences, and the grass was patchy at best. But what they had was heart, and a dream of creating something beautiful with their hands. So we started with reclaimed wood, the kind that tells a story just by its weathered look. Together, we built raised planter boxes, each one lined with burlap and filled with lavender, rosemary, and mint. The smell alone changed the energy of that yard. You could feel it, the way nature brings peace without even trying. Rustic garden design isn't about perfect symmetry or pristine lawns. It's about character, history, and the gentle touch of imperfection. A lot of people think they need a huge garden or fancy tools to make a difference, but honestly, some of the most magical garden spaces I've seen have been on tiny balconies or forgotten patches by the back door. One of my favorite tricks is using old metal watering cans and chipped ceramic pitchers as planters. You can hang them from a wooden trellis or place them on an old crate for elevation. Add some trailing ivy or colorful pansies, and suddenly that little corner tells a story. There's something about mixing the old and the organic that just works. It calms the senses and sparks the imagination. And it's not just about plants, you know? Lighting plays such an underrated role in rustic garden design. I remember once wrapping a few warm-toned fairy lights around a salvaged ladder we leaned against a fence. During the day, it looked like sculpture. At night, it glowed like a memory. Lanterns, candles in mason jars, and solar lights tucked into garden beds create that warm, magical ambience that makes you want to linger just a little longer outdoors. These little DIY lighting hacks can turn even the smallest outdoor nook into a dreamy escape. I've always believed that textures are what make rustic design sing. You can feel the soul of a space through texture, the roughness of stone, the softness of moss, the grain of aged wood. When working on a small garden, layer these textures the same way you would with pillows on a couch. Think river rocks scattered around potted herbs, a thick jute rug underfoot if your garden's on a porch, or even an old wool blanket draped on a bench. The key is to mix hard and soft elements, natural and worn. It's all about contrast and balance, just like in life. Now let's talk about vertical space. It's a lifesaver when you're working with limited room. A DIY ladder shelf made from old wooden planks and a couple of brackets can hold potted flowers, small birdhouses, or jars filled with wildflower seeds. I once helped a friend make one out of an old bed frame. It was quirky, but oh so charming. Another great idea: hang vintage kitchen sifters or old window frames on an exterior wall, and let climbing plants like jasmine or clematis wind their way through. It's like your garden is telling a story page by page from the ground up. I can't forget seating. What's the point of a cozy garden if you can't sit and soak it in? For one project, we used a couple of mismatched chairs from a thrift store, sanded them down, and gave them a whitewash finish. Add a few handmade cushions with floral prints or gingham fabric, and you've got an instant rustic reading nook. A small bistro table made from reclaimed metal completes the scene. It's not about matching, it's about harmony. A rustic garden doesn't have to be expensive or fancy. It just has to feel like you. One of the most overlooked elements in garden design is sound. In one backyard, we hung old spoons and forks from a branch to make a wind chime. It sounded like soft rain when the breeze hit. You could also use bamboo or driftwood. The sound, combined with the smell of herbs and the gentle flicker of candlelight, turns your small garden into a sanctuary. These tiny mindful touches are what bring rustic spaces to life. They don't shout for attention, but they stay with you long after you've gone inside. As you can probably tell by now, rustic garden design isn't just about aesthetics. It's about intention. It's about creating a space that invites you to slow down and breathe. Whether it's the scent of fresh thyme as you brush past it, or the soft creak of a wooden gate, every detail matters. And those details don't have to come from a catalog. They can come from your own hands. That's the beauty of DIY. You make your space as unique as your story. And trust me, your story deserves a beautiful place to be told. In the end, whether your garden is the size of a welcome mat or a full backyard, the rustic touch transforms it into something magical. With just a few simple hacks, repurposed wood, soft lighting, handmade seating, and a little imagination, you can turn even the humblest corner into a retreat that feels both fresh and timeless. That's the secret to design that lasts. It's not about following trends. It's about creating spaces that feel like home every single day. So if you're standing at your back door, wondering how to begin, start small. One plant, one crate, one cozy light. Let it grow from there. Your rustic garden doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be yours. From the scent of rosemary to the flicker of lanterns, let every choice reflect the calm, cozy life you're building. I'll be right here with you, bringing more ideas, more inspiration, and a little warmth from the Decorilo family to yours. Until next time, keep creating with heart.